145 over 92.
180 over 111.
182 over 100. And I had a heart attack and a cardiac arrest, and then a stroke.
This is what high blood pressure looks like. You might not feel its symptoms, but the results from a heart attack or stroke are far from invisible or silent.
My memory is shot.
When I woke up, I couldn't speak.
I can't button up a shirt. I can't run.
I've had to learn to swallow again.
That's the only moments that I have. And I'm 33, so I never see this coming.
If I would have followed a treatment plan, I would not be in this situation.
Had I done this, had I done that.
Hell, I messed up.
Get back on your plan, or talk with your doctor to create an exercise, diet, and medication plan that works for you. Go to loweryourhbp.org.
Head to toe, everything's changed. Head to toe.
$145 over 92.
180 over 111.
182 over 100. And I had a heart attack and a cardiac arrest.
We've been married about 15 months. And we happened to meet on the internet, by the way.
You know, at first, I was like, I don't know, maybe he's from Chicago. He might be a slick. And we got to talking, and I realized he was a man of integrity. This is the best age ever. Because you've been through some experiences and you know some things that you didn't understand earlier in life.
You can appreciate it, I think, now that you can look back on certain things.
You know, true passion is grown out of understanding and knowing someone.
The power of our love is integrity and honesty.
We just tell each other the truth, even when we don't
agree.
Yeah, exactly. We agree to disagree.
Yeah, that's right. My love for you is
What?
genuine and real.
My love for you is complete.
They'll test you. Try to break your will. But however loud the loudness gets, however many cheese puffs may fly, you're the driver, the one in control. Stand firm. Just wait. And move only when you hear the click that says they're buckled in for the drive.
I surrender.
All right, pal. Get ready for the day, buddy.
Hey, Dad. Hey, Dad. Do we have a gun?
What's that?
Do we have a gun?
Why do you ask that, kiddo?
Can I play with it?
No, absolutely not. It's not a toy. You know that.
Do I? I bet it looks like one.
Yeah, well, it's not. Anyway, I need it to protect you, your sister and Mom.
From what?
From bad guys, like on TV.
But what about the 8 kids who get shot every day by mistake? Their daddies probably thought they were safe too.
Where'd you hear that?
TV.
Yeah, well, maybe we don't believe everything we hear on TV.
Where do you keep it?
It's hidden.
I bet it's on the top shelf of the closet, under your sweatshirts. Is it loaded?
It's not. I keep the
And
bullets.
the boots with the red laces and the chest beside the bed, I haven't found them yet, but I'm sure I can. You always told me to be curious. Remember when I found my Christmas gift? I'm a good climber, you know.
No. No, that's not what I meant. Look, I need to be ready if someone breaks in.
But what about when it's just me and Mom? You taught me to be brave. I could use the gun to protect her.
No, Justin, I promise. I'll teach you how to handle a gun when you're old enough.
And what if I don't make it to old enough? I could get bullied and decide it's too much for me. It would be so easy with our gun.
Our gun? No, buddy. My gun.
But it is our gun, in our home. Happens all the time.
I'll make sure that doesn't happen. I'm always here for you.
But Dad, you're not always here.
Today, with seasonal temperatures, we should reach our normal high of about 82 degrees by this afternoon. Clear skies tonight with a low near 70. Increasing cloudiness tomorrow, sticky and humid with a high of 36. With the winds up to
You know your last week's topic?
Yeah, you're harassed. You're embarrassed. You're ashamed or something.
You know your
We're
last week's
live. We are live.
Okay. Welcome to Mind of a Man. I'm your host, Elder James Jones, and my co-host, Toby. We want to say thank you for joining us. Thank you for listening to us. Thank you for answering our questions. Thank you for putting some fire in the chat. Thank you for, as you say, hollering at your boy or just listening to us. We want to say thank you. Thank you to Clarke TV, our producer. We want to say thank you to Courtney Clarke. But we really want to say thank you to the guests, because always in this show, you are always welcome to be a part in here as partakers of the conversation that we have that we think is very relevant, very fresh, and very up to date. Without further ado, last week, I believe we were talking about something called harmony. And I suggested to my co-host, Toby there, that is a very easy word to say, but very complex in its nature, being that how life is currently is in the 21st century, that you really don't find harmony that often as you think, or that consistent, because that means that in all genres of your lifestyle, everything is harmonized or everything is commingling well together. That means in your habitation of your career, with your love life, or with your children, with your faith, with your church, with all these different entities, is it harmonizing, is it blending, or is it falling apart, or is there 2 or 3 areas that's doing great, and then the other areas are just falling off? So in understanding what harmony was, we got to a point where is everything synchronizing? I'm not saying everything perfect, that's different. But is everything synchronizing? And I had to say, really, it's a hard balance, mostly because in Western culture, things move so fast. And one minute it's hot and the next minute it's not. And what we miss out on is having that balance where we don't lose ourselves.
Right.
And so I was saying, yes, I agree. There is a thing such as harmony. I was saying no, because mostly what I see in America, mostly what I see from people, is not harmonizing. It's actually, I'm doing great in one area or genre of my life, and the other ones I really don't care for right now until I have to get to them. So that's a quick recap of what we discussed last week, and that was about harmony. My brother Toby brought up that wonderful, that wonderful subject right there about harmony. He said he was ready. I said, hey, kick it to me. Give me some knowledge on that harmony, because I don't think it's going to go down the way you think it's going to go down. So, because harmony is not as easy as everybody.
No.
It's a nice word. It's good to call somebody, to have a child named Harmony. Don't mean that child might be Harmony, but it sounds good. But a lot of that has to do with our choices and not knowing who we really are. So that's why there's such a disconnect about having harmony in our lives. So today's subject, my co-host said, this is one of those questions that like is off the rails, off the chain. Like he's saying, hey, I think we need to do a part 1, part 2. My producer back there, he even though he got himself on silent, he's saying, hey, excellent. I'm digging this. I want to know what people or what other men would like to know about this particular subject, as well as women. My sisters, I know y'all want to eavesdrop on the conversation and get involved. I got my wife here. She's gonna give us a few minutes before she vacate the premises because she has something else she has to do. But she wants to drop some science on us about this particular subject that we brought up. And the subject is, what does a man want from a woman? What does a man want from a woman? And without further ado, I done the intro. I'm going to turn it over to my co-host and give him a chance to two-step without a drink. Tobie, my brother, it's in your court.
What does a man, should we say, expect from a woman?
No. We haven't even said yet. But what does a man want from a woman?
What does a man want from a woman?
Because I'm gonna get to all that other stuff because it's probably gonna be a two-parter. But we're gonna peel back some layers on that onion.
Peace.
You got it.
Let's start there. Peace.
Peace. All right. You said one of the first things a man wants is peace from a woman.
Is peace.
Okay. All right. Why do you say peace?
Let me exactly. Let me elaborate on that.
Okay.
Let me elaborate on that.
As I say, speak on.
Peace, because the world that we live in today is already chaotic as it is. It's already chaotic as it is. And you know, if you have children, family, work, bills, you know, all that chaotic stuff is going on, and then you have to deal with maybe extended family members and family crisis and stuff, because man biblically is the head of the family, and his spouse should also be the best friend. Should be his spouse, he or she now can go either way, should be the place of peace, a place of refuge, for him. So that's one of the things that a man wants from a woman. I can't say expect, peace.
Okay.
Because if that man can get peace from his woman, see, our producer is really slick. He doesn't want to have the conversation, so he's putting everything in the chat box. He says peace is easy. Oh, we're going to get you, Courtney. We're going to get you. But peace is, if a man has peace with his spouse and the spouse gives him peace, he can do anything.
All right. So you saying peace, okay? I'm gonna bring my wife in because I'm gonna be the cleanup man, but I'm gonna drop this some science on you. She can't give you peace. The word or the writ or the logos teaches that God gives us peace, the peace that surpasses all understanding. So if that be the case, she can't get it. She got to get it from the same source I'm getting it from. So if she's getting it from the same source I'm getting it from, she can't give it to me. I have to seek it from him, which he gives us. But you said peace. I got it. I know what you're saying. I know how you're expressing it. Yes, you're right. Because
you gotta deal with her 24/7.
Go ahead.
You gotta deal with each other 24/7. There's got to be some place of refuge for the man.
But this is the thing. This is the thing, Tobie. The piece that you're talking about is what Proverbs was talking about being in a house with a woman, a nagging woman. It would be better for him to be outside in the rain on top of the roof, right? Because of the constant nagging. And he needs that that place where he feel to be at home. That's what it should be. right?
Mhm.
Okay, so I was trying to start there what a man wants from a woman, not what a husband wants from a wife. I haven't even got there yet. Remember, you trying to get to the whole marriage hookup. I'm trying to get you started just as a male and a female as what does a man want from a woman? So what's
one? Peace was the first one. I got more.
You gonna stick with your piece. All right, I got you, brother. I got you. So I'm ready to bring my wife on. I'm gonna let her introduce herself. This is my wife. There it is. Carolyn Jones.
Yes.
And I'm gonna slide out the frame of
slide to the left, slide to the right. Okay. So what I listen to what your topic is what a man wants from a woman. And what a man wants from a woman, he's got to be able to give as much as he wants to receive that. You may want some things and may not receive what you want because you are not a man that has put himself in a position to receive the things that he wants. So I know most men want an attractive woman and they will pay anything in the world for attraction on a lot of areas. They will pay for everything she wants. They will I mean, they will cater to her because she looks good by their side. And he can be an ugly duckling, but that girl makes him look good.
Say what?
So I know men want somebody that's attractive, and they will spend their last dime and dollar to keep that attractiveness on their side.
So I had that. Okay, appealing. All right.
Okay, they want something attractive and appealing. They want something, and that appetite of appealing has to be a drive of a sexual appetite, which is why they have to be attractive. Which is why they have to be attractive, because a man wants sex. If you want sex, you got to find somebody.
So hold on.
Hey.
I was just asking, what was the number one thing that a man wants?
She was going in. She's going in. Let her go in. She's going in. Hey.
So
she's going in.
The look or because I'm taking notes.
He's taking notes. And I will say again, most men want an attractive female because they're attracted to her for sexual appetite. So if she ugly, it can mess up your mind. And so I do say that they want an attractive female. They want a woman that's going to be attentive to the things that they need. They want a woman that's going to make sure that she takes care of home. She can cook. They want somebody that can cook.
So she's pretty. Can she cook?
Well, you know, I think
saying,
for you, it has to go hand in hand.
If she's pretty, can she cook?
Not all pretty women can cook. So most men like the women that are plain and simple. They're not flashy. They're, good old home cooked meal in a country. And I've been looking at some women going, wow, you're really pretty, but why do you look so old and old fashioned? Because he doesn't want her to be attractive to somebody else. So he likes the fact that I got my home cooked meal. I got what I want when I come home. She's at home. She takes care of home. She manages the home well, and she looks good by my side. That's what I want. And if I get what I want, then that's what I need. My perspective.
Okay. All right.
Am I done, sir? Am I done off your show? That was the Carolyn perspective.
Okay. So I want to ask you and Tobie this. Right?
Yes, sir.
If that be the case, what is the difference between a want and a need?
Okay. The difference between a want.
You want to start it first?
I'm gonna start and I'm gonna need because I have to do.
Okay, she got it.
Okay.
Okay.
The want is important to them because the want is the attraction. What they need are the necessities of food, shelter, clothing, and that's what she provides for them. Their necessities of sex, food, shelter, clothing.
So now the attraction is leading to sex, which to me, I think what you keep saying is the appeal, the look.
Are you gonna be with somebody physically and they look like a Medusa? I'm just saying. I think
I'm just gonna
I
quote
think
what I'm just gonna quote
what I
what
understand.
what a philosopher said. What he said, beauty's in the eyes of the beholder.
That's
I don't
true. You
I
can
don't
put a
not,
bag over their head. All you need is
well,
one
see, I
thing.
ain't say all that. I'm just saying beauty's in the eyes of the beholder.
Yeah,
Who you view as beautiful is beautiful to you.
that's right.
So
That's a good
I
point.
say that because I don't knock anyone's choice because that's who they choose to be with.
Right.
So given all that said, my wife said appealing, then moving towards sex because she's saying that actually this want is actually a need. And a lot of times what I'm finding out is the way I hear y'all speak is that what was a need, what was a want was actually a need, and what was a need was actually a want.
Ooh, that was deep.
Because that's how people talk.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, what's a need?
That's
See, because a want, I don't necessarily have to. I don't have
you
to
can
need it.
survive without the sex.
Right.
It's not a necessity.
Well, I ain't gonna say that. I'm just gonna say, I'm just gonna say that that's not the point of the matter. Is this: if someone's saying that this is my need and this is my want, understand the difference. Understand the two, because people talk one way and they do another. And so I said that to you because for the last 10, 15 minutes, we were talking about sex appeal and about sex. Okay. So yes, but before you get there, right, there has to be something else.
Attractive.
But that's in the appealing part, right? So there is a thing where there are certain human beings who are not attracted to the physical, but they're actually attracted to the mind.
Oh.
Right? And these people like very intelligent people. Right? And these particular type of people don't get turned on by how your sexual image is or what you're portraying body-wise. They're looking at solely as your intelligence, right? So there's a rarity with those kind of people, right? So then I go back to ask you, what is your want and your need? Now, and remember, the question start off, what does a man want from a woman? Some people like to say, what does a man look for in a woman? But what does a man want? I think is a better word.
How about this? They want someone that's going to compliment them. Because, for instance, if you are in business or you're an artist, let's say you're an actor, they want somebody that's going to compliment them, that's not going to cause stress because they're traveling so much or they're in movies or whatever. If they're complimenting them, they want somebody that's going to compliment them and what they do.
Okay. There's always an anomaly.
That'll keep the peace.
There's always an anomaly. Okay, since my wife is leaving off, she has to go. I'm gonna pick up the flagship now.
Ciao, baby.
I would have to disagree with both of them.
You disagree with both of us?
Yes.
Okay.
And I'm gonna tell you why I disagree with both.
By all means.
Because when we boil everything down, what does a man want from a woman, right? And that question can only be answered by truly the individual themselves, right? But one of the things that I share is that all men want a major thing from women, right? Even if that man is married, right? Is this thing that younger people like to throw out there, and they say it, but they really have not fully understand this word that they use. And that word is respect. respect. Even in marriages, they want respect. That's one of the first things that men, husbands and men want is respect, right?
That's correct.
It's earned. You know, you just don't treat people a certain way. You don't talk to them a certain way. One of the things we say that we see women who have a lot of what's the better word? So a lot of mouth or a lot of character, and get to talking and can be very disrespectful. I'm not saying curse you out, but talk down to you or talk to you like you don't. Like
Condescending, arrogance, arrogance, condescending.
Exactly. So one of the things I said was respect, because if you don't respect that individual, one, you're not going to entertain them. Two, they're not even going to talk to you, right? One of the things you can always find out, right? Go to a certain type of club, dress a certain kind of way, where everybody's rocking some butters, right?
Sorry to cut you off, Jay, but it doesn't have to be a club. It could be a profession too.
It could be what?
A profession.
Like somebody,
a profession.
Lawyer.
A lawyer.
Doctor. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Right.
Club
You
is
don't
like
dress the part. Right.
Not the low, I say like that's, you know, club camouflage, those kind of people as well. You know
Exactly.
what I mean? Once they come out, they're different professions that comes out as a club.
Right. So I just use the club just for instance. But you're right.
Yeah.
Professions, right? So you can dress a certain way, walk into a certain establishment, right? Have plenty of money, but you don't look like you dress. I mean, you don't look like you have any wealth about you or richness about you, right? So those certain type of women are attracted to certain type of men who make certain kind of incomes, right? So for the common folk like us who work hard, you're not their type, right? Because you don't make enough figures. So what I mean by respect is that we come on an equal playing field, on an equal level ground where I respect you just for being who you are, right? Even if you're the man or the woman out on the corner begging, there's still a respect level that we should have for them, right? Not because I'm giving them something, not because I think I have arrived because of the type of vehicle, whatever I have, but simply because they are human beings. But men as a whole, starting off, one of their number one things is respect, right? Don't get me wrong. I know my wife will argue me down to the hilt. And the first thing that most people do, we do look with our eyes. We do like attractive things. Don't get me wrong. You are totally correct. But is that a need or a want?
That's a want.
It's a want.
That's a want?
It's not a need.
That means that if
I always say, I'm talking for myself, you can love somebody and from the heart. And, they can have some type of attraction that you like. It could be just the way they talk to you, just the way their vibes is. The sexual part of it is like, that's easy. Cause, there's so many, like, I look at women that roses. Some of them have thorns, some of them don't have thorns. And so they have all different and they have different type of smells. But at the end of the day, like, it's the chemistry that really counts, that makes sense of, what's going to work in the relationship. If you start looking at all the beauty, all the other stuff, you don't know what comes with that.
Because you're starting off with your premises wrong. One of the first things I always say to people is, like, when they get in a relationship, I always ask this question. You might look beautiful. You might even be attracted to her. But if I got to the premise and say, did God tell you to marry her? And then when you see the hesitation, when you look at people and you see that hesitation, and they like, and their eyes start like going up to the right side, trying to wonder, did God really speak to you and say, that's the woman you need to marry? You know he did. You know he did. And then when all hell breaks loose, we're wondering why, why y'all gonna have a divorce? Because you shouldn't have been with her in the first place. He didn't tell you to go with her. But guess what? That want overrode that need. And that need to have that encounter physically spoke louder than that need to have wisdom about your decision making or your choice making. So when I say that, I say, first of all, let's get to the point. What is it that I'm looking for, and why do I need it? What is it that I need that I gotta have? Because in that woman, I heard something that was so profound, Courtney, and I'll say this, Tobie, and it was so profound. And it goes like this, and I use it now, right? So there's no original ideas. God gives them all to us. So ain't no such thing as being stolen, in other words. It is to be shared. So this is what I heard someone share with me that spoke very loudly to me. Before you can get to marriage, right? If you're going to get to marriage, marry your purpose. I just dropped the mic right there. Marry your purpose.
Marry your purpose.
Marry your purpose.
People forget that.
I just dropped the mic just like that. Marry your purpose. Because
Yeah,
check it out.
Go ahead. I'm trying to.
Okay, let me drop the science on you. If you marry your purpose, right? She is your helpmate. Within your purpose, she is to help you get to your purpose by helping you as a helpmate to help you get to your purpose. She will also get to her purpose. And her purpose is to not only support you, but also use her gift to edify God to support your purpose. Meanwhile, both of you get, there you go. You heard that ding. Marry your purpose.
Okay. Boom.
Because
Okay,
most people won't marry their purpose because they either don't know what their purpose is in life, or they're so busy chasing money that they miss their purpose in life. And once you miss your purpose in life, then you'll miss why you're here and what you're born for. And then you waste.
Selfishness can cause that as well.
Right. But the real issue has become now, will you understand when choices are given to you? Because that's another thing that we don't get taught, is about how to choose properly, how to make correct decisions, right? Because if you're not making correct decisions, experiences are costly. Let me say that one more time. If you're not making correct decisions, right, or wise decisions, right, experiences are very costly, right? They are very costly, and you can't keep making them because they cost you not only financially, but they cause a mental strain upon you, right? And it wears you down, right? So let me use this example. We're talking about relationships so wise as, what does a man want from a woman, right? If you've had all these illicit affairs, right? You had all these illicit affairs, right? Your choices are horrible. You made so many improper decisions. Why is this one correct? That's what I always say. Why is this one correct? Because if God is not involved in the first one, right, and you keep Xing him out, now you're training your mindset to say, I don't have to ask them. I know what I want. Yeah, I made that choice last time. I cut this piece out. I'm going for a different piece. But you keep making the same poor choices. And you keep leaving him out. So the more you leave him out, the more your experiences get worse, but they're different each time, right? and you're not getting better at it. You're getting worse at it. And time, you can't get back. The finances you can probably make back, but the time you can never get back.
You can't get that back.
And then you're intermingling all of this stuff together, and you never still get to your purpose.
Wasted energy.
It's energy wasted, but what's worse is, like the old Negro college fund used to say, a mind is a terrible thing to waste, right? So it's wearing you down what the enemy is putting before you, because he has a dossier on you and he says, I know what you like and how you like it. Let me bring it to you, homeboy. I got it for you. I got exactly what you want. And here it comes in a nice package. It sounds good. It got a great sound bite. It looks fine. Got it just the way you like it. It works a little bit. Yeah, but I ain't going to tell you what's really broke. I won't tell you what's really broke.
That's for you to figure out.
Right. So if you figuring it out, it's going to cost you, right? So if it's going to cost you, you never got to ask the designer, is this for me? Who sent this to me? Who sent this to me? And whoever sent this to me, my enemy or my God, who sent this to me? And if I take the time out and someone's catering to my ego, giving me a little bit at a time of what they think I might want, when are you going to wake up? Because it's like a snake being wrapped around you. Every time you exhale, it squeezes a little tight. And before you know it, you done ran the course and it's all over with. So I get back to saying, is that a need or is that a want? Because at the end of the day, check it out. Someone said it best. I heard it said it best like this. So it said, because you having all this sex up in the front end, right? Before you even get married, right? When you get married, because he think they're gonna be hitting him even more, they hit it even less.
I know where you go. I knew exactly where you were going with that.
So you ain't.
I knew where you were going with that. But I don't know. That's the old cliche.
Like, and then it's all over with.
Right. It's that old cliche, like, it ain't the same. Life and intimacy.
It's gonna be paradise.
It ain't the same once you get married. It ain't the same. You'll be lucky if you're on the schedule.
So Courtney, they thought they were gonna get off scot-free. They thought it was gonna be fun. They thought they were gonna get all the support. They thought they was gonna hit them sheets, and then it's zilch. They hardly get nothing. Then they get frustrated. Then they saying, "Hey, I got more when I didn't offer you anything than now that I'm married."
But hey, real quick, but everybody brings the executive in their relationship, man and woman. They never bring them real self to the table. Everybody talks about the things that they do, to make them look good. I think, before you even jumping in the bed, and I think sometimes, today's relationship is like bed, then relationship, then they try to get married. But if they spend the time to know each other and, year, 2 years, no sex, people can't do that no more. Everybody want to get in and like, yo, let's pop it up, baby. And I'm gonna keep 100. That's the truth.
But is that realistic?
But, I remember I was in a relationship. I'm gonna keep 100. 5 years. It took me 5 years. This person was not trying to, you know what I mean? I can honor that. That's respect. But sometimes nobody does it. Nobody do 2. Nobody do 6 months. Everybody's like quick, and they think that's relationship, and it's not. That's a whole different discussion. We can't even have that right now, but that's a whole different discussion because I think that's where the whole respect part comes into play.
Right. You're respecting their choice, right? But this is the part. This is what I'm trying to say though. If it's a need or a want, but my thing is, even with that, who did you actually? Okay, I'm trying not to go spiritual on y'all, but I'm just going straight out.
Yeah,
But-
you should.
gotta-
You can. You can.
You gotta do both. Because
But
they got
I'm
the
still
business
trying
side
to say-
Yeah.
of the world side, and then there's a.
But I'm gonna straight out just say, you know, if you're not asking him to be involved in it, why ask him to even come to the marriage? Seriously, if you're not asking God to be in from the onstop to bring the right one, because we see what Abraham did for sending his servant out to find one for his son, right? And he prayed before he even got inside, right? Inside the village or wherever they were at. I say that because if your intentions is to be with someone, right? So to marry, your purpose is to be with her, right? And check it out. He actually ended up getting his purpose. His wife ends up having 2 sons with 2 nations in her. He married his purpose, right? And when you marry your purpose, you get done what needs to get done. But if you're not, let me go back to my original intent. If God is not going to be involved, why are you even asking them at the marriage? I mean, that's the truth. If you're not going to ask him to help navigate your life to the point of who you should be with, then why ask him?
But nobody thinks about God when they. That's what I said. Everybody that whole executive piece. Nobody even thinks about God in this process.
You think about it when you walk down
But
the
they think about God after. And then when they think about God, you know, the proposal part.
Oh, so that's why. Hey,
we need a
so that's why
preacher.
y'all really took justice of the
They even
peace.
think about God. It's something that attracts. Let's keep it 100. You know, whatever that is. It could be this profiling from. It could be the back. It could be the front. It's something. And then there's a chemistry. And then there is not like, oh my God, that's the first thing, you know, that's the line they're gonna throw out. It's not even gonna, it's something else. There's a whole different thing that throws out, and everybody have their ways of, you know, at the time when they connected with some woman. And
that's true.
I don't know, like I said, I don't know if I can speak for you, Mother, but I don't know, Toby, come on. It's not God gonna come out your mouth during that time. It's something else at the time of having that conversation.
Probably the wrong way.
And like I said, you meet a woman in the church, whole different conversation again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like,
but it took you how long to realize that you had to have God in this situation?
Say again?
It took you this long, right? With all the costly choices.
It's a godly thing.
Right?
It's a whole God move. It's a whole God. Like I said, I would not want to just jump to someone if they're not, and it don't have to be like they have to be in church. It's just a straight up conversation. That's what I said. Year or 2 or 3 years to get to know the person from a mental, not even financial, none of the other stuff. A mental standpoint. It's all mental to know the person because they're stable.
Okay, so we're gonna keep it 100. Let's keep it 100 then. If that be the case, right? Would they really like the real Courtney?
No. And that's the thing. That's the executive side.
That's the thing. Everybody's gonna keep it 100. Everybody's gonna keep it 100. Right?
About this and that and a whole different. I'm a janitor and all that. They ain't hearing you. And that's if the person look at you totally different from a different eye.
Exactly. But this
they
is what
have to look at you from a different eye, and they got to look beyond what they hear and look at the heart, and have the woman to look at the heart, and that's vice versa for men.
You're totally
That's
correct.
men and women. They don't look at the heart. They look at what they see and what they hear and what you drive and all the other things that does not is meaningful God.
Right.
It's not.
So remember when I told you earlier that experiences are costly? Check it out. I have a saying that I tell people who are couples or singles. I say this: imagine you go into the supermarket, right? And you like papayas, right? Yep. And they just, I mean, you walk into the grocery store and them papayas is like, bam, they like banging, right? You go pick it up. You like, I'm gonna buy this one. This one's just, it's plump, it's juicy, it's right on time. You go to put it in the bag and you find somebody done bit off this thing. You were like, what the? And then got to go and put it back, right? Put it back on the shelf. But what you don't realize, I use that analogy because a lot of us are like that. We've been used and abused and then put back on the shelf like we're a new product for somebody else.
I saw a video like that where a guy, it was funny that a lady brought back a man. He said, I want a refund. This one ain't working for me.
Exactly.
Like, it was the man back. He said, but I did everything I'm supposed to do. No, you didn't do this, that, and the third, and you lost your job, blah, 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 blah. And he said, I want a refund. I want another man. It was funny, but that's life.
That's how we are, right? Because in Western culture, we think that we got a right to take back anything we want to, right? So you damage the individual. And that's why I was getting to, were they really like the real Courtney? You damage these people physically, or even more so, a lot of it is emotionally, right? You damage all these people with all these different relationships, and then you expect them to be functional and lovable. And that's why I came with you about, would they really like the real you? Because somebody say, I want people to keep it 100. But if you kept it really 100, and we see the damage that some people have done to you, and then we see the real you, would I like the real you? Probably not. Probably not. And in other words, there's a lot of damage and a lot of spiritual hurt from so many directions, from inside families to different relationships. And in that, knowing and wanting something is two different things. And that's why you have to be very wise and very smart and intelligent with your choice when it comes to having relationships with people who, even though you spend through the corridor of time, they might be good for this moment because I'm talking to you, I like you, but I get further down the line, I can like you as a friend, but I can't deal with you as a lover. Let me say that again to you.
Some don't want to hear that.
As a friend, but I could never deal with you as a lover. Because that kind of betrayal or that kind of hurt can really hurt me or mess me up, which in turn will mess you up. And instead of damaging a relationship, I'd rather keep it the way it is so we won't have to be lovers. Tobie, you ain't said enough, man. You just grabbing knowledge, man. Quit eating
I'm
at
just
the table.
grabbing knowledge. I'm paying attention. I'm paying attention, and I'm learning.
You taking notes? You taking notes?
Huh?
You gonna go back to the cave and try to figure this all out?
No, not go back to the cave, figure it out. I know, I know what I'm looking for, and I know my purpose. I know my purpose. Like I said, we talked about this before the show. Getting married next year. I know what my purpose is with this lady. I know what my purpose is, definitely. And there's really nothing that I can object to between you, Courtney, and James, because it's true. Because I'm looking at things now from a totally different perspective now. Like, I guess I never looked at it this way, or I never thought about it that way. When you meet someone for the first time, you're not being your true self. And I can say this from experience. I know that Yep. I know I put either executive or agent, Courtney, the agent. I know your agent. I know what I put my fiance through. I know what I put her through. And I know it's frustrating. It was frustrating. I frustrated her. It's a miracle that we're together today after 7 years. And I'm grateful she didn't give up on me. When she could have, she had every right to, but she didn't, because I didn't open myself to her. Because I was just coming off a 17-year marriage. I had put in so much in that marriage, and I didn't even know, is it even safe? But I prayed that, God, if this wasn't right, please, I know it's been 17 years, remove me from the situation. Remove me from the situation. But again, I don't know what I'm going to face when I get out there with the world. I don't know. It terrified me James. It terrified me, Courtney. I had no idea because I'm not used to being single with all these women out here because of who I am or what I do, and so I didn't know who to trust. And there's maybe an ulterior motive from these women, which there was. I didn't know who to trust. But I will say this. God knew what my fears were. He knew what my fears were, and he knew exactly what I wanted. And I know God has a sense of humor because he gave me exactly what I wanted and then some. Here, I'm going to give you extra. Okay? I pick with my fiance on that every day. I said, man, I'm grateful. I wouldn't trade it for the world. So when we try to embark on something, the point I'm trying to make is we don't dish out who we really are. I think it's safe to say it's a defensive mechanism. Should we say defensive mechanism? Like, I can't lay all my cards on the table. I can't really tell you who I am.
But imagine if it was real from the jump, from any relationship. So imagine, I always say, imagine it was real from the jump, from the relationship.
Oh, and that relationship won't last. It won't last. Like what James said earlier, it will not last.
That we need to find out because I think I'd rather know the truth than know what's coming later. Because it was a whole.
Hey, you know what? You know what
I want to know
about A Few Good Men when he stood up there and he said, "You can't handle the truth."
I want the truth. You can't handle the truth. There it is, right there. Yep.
And that's the truth. You can't handle the truth. Why? Because I'm broken, and if you see me broken,
you're not gonna want to fool with me if I'm broken.
Because I'm broken. So I got to give you the Yep. But that's what's happening everywhere, right? Except when you get to the Middle East. Totally different, right? Western culture, the Middle East don't play that. You know, when y'all get married, you married.
That's it.
The strict code. That's it.
She can't divorce him. He can leave her. He can divorce her.
Right. She has to take him to court, and the family actually takes him to court. Not even her. Actually, it's the father of her that takes him to court. The family does to take him to court with that. But yeah, it ain't going down in the Middle East like that. That's why when they say, oh, like I went to a retreat, and they's like, the world is really messed up, and because they having this female on female, male on male, whatever the case may be, right? I was thinking in my mind while I was sitting there, it's like, no, that's only in Western culture. Because it ain't going down there. I've been to the Middle East. It ain't going down like that down there. They ain't having it. Let me tell you, they ain't having it.
The females have no say.
Yeah, and you ain't acting like you half crazy, or you go over there and you think you can talk any kind of way to those men. They ain't having it.
Yeah.
It ain't going down like that. And so what's peculiar is Western culture tries to push itself on Eastern culture, and Eastern culture just look at them like, I got a brick wall up, man. All that you saying, it don't matter. That's why I got 3, 4, 5 wives, and I take care of them with all my children.
Yep.
Because that's how they roll. They stay in that environment. And they come over here to see, just to peep over the wall, just to see them like, yeah, I like America because it's free. You get the capitalism, you get to do all these things, yeah. But I'm going back home now. And that's how they roll it. So when I ask the question, why is it a need, or what is it that you're looking for? And I wrote down a few things, and I haven't even gotten to my real point. So we might have to do part 2.
There you go. That's it. That's it. I anticipated it. I knew this was not a one episode topic. It can't. It's too much.
So what is your number one? Let me ask both of y'all this. What is the number one attribute you look for in a woman? Let me just let's just put that out there. What is the number one attribute you look for in a woman? Just one. I ain't asking for a whole plethora. Just the number one.
God-fearing.
God-fearing? Okay. All right. What about you, Court?
Y'all gotta hear. I want to hear this. Courtney, what are you looking for?
What's your number? What's your number one
What I'm looking for?
that you look for in a woman? The number one thing you look for in a woman.
Is it one or just two?
You can name as many as you want, but I'm saying the number one
I got
thing.
more, but she said one. He said one.
I mean, the biggest one is respect.
Is what?
Huh?
Respect.
Oh, respect. Okay. All right. All right. So you saying God fearing? I'm gonna challenge you on that, Toby, because before you can even get to know her, you don't even know she is God fearing. So I'm just gonna move that
I mean,
on.
they come that way, but then you can feed through that, and then once you realize who they are,
Yeah.
they're not God.
Yeah. But the number one thing, because you don't even know she God fearing yet. But
Yeah, you gotta kind of.
The only way you're going to
that's
know
that whole-
James is the only way you're going to know James is you have to have a conversation with her.
Right. But I'm saying, what's
But
the
they're not
number
going to
one
come out
thing
and
you
tell you they
look
God
for?
fearing. Like, I'm going for it. They're not going to tell you that.
Yeah. That's not the number one. I'm gonna tell you what my number one thing is.
What is it?
My number one.
Yeah, what is it? Yeah, what is it? Yeah, I
My
want to
number
hear
one
it.
thing. My
That's
number
that
one
dun,
thing.
dun.
It is it's actually trust.
That's a good one. That's solid.
Okay.
My number one thing is
That's
is
solid. That's solid.
trust. Because see, if I hold a conversation with you, the first time I meet you, you can kind of weed through how people talk. It's
Trust is a big. That's a big thing.
about it,
Trust is a big thing.
about trust, right? Especially, and I say that, Toby, especially if you ever been hurt. And I'm surprised that wasn't your number one thing. I am surprised that wasn't your number one thing. It's trust. Toby's.
You told me to pick one.
Yeah, I did.
Trust was one. If you give me a chance to pick multiple, of course I would have said trust because of how far I came. See, you took that option. You took that option from me, James. You took that option from me.
I gave you first dibs.
Right,
gave
but
you
you
the
took
first
the option. It's multiple things that I look out of a woman. Multiple. God-fearing, trust was one of them.
Oh, okay. So
and respect. But you didn't give me that option. You took it from me.
I only took one.
Because
Okay. So if I say, okay, so if I
okay,
didn't say
I'm gonna tell you this real quick. I know we gotta go, but I'm gonna tell you this real quick. The reason why I said God-fearing,
right?
Because once you meet a woman that is God-fearing and she's legitimately God-fearing,
right,
it filters
right
down. Then there's trust and there's respect. That's the reason why I picked God-fearing first, because it's a chain reaction.
I ain't got no problem with God fearing. I just said when you meet her, you ain't gonna know that she's God fearing. I'm just saying. What's the number one thing?
God.
Yeah,
Like Wonder Woman.
You ain't gonna know that by God fearing yet. I was just saying. I thought you was gonna come out with straight out going on. I thought you was just gonna bring out like, bam, straight out. At 17 years, and I got that bomb dropped on me like that. Trust, dude. Trust. I got to have it. Because guess what? If I can trust you, then you can get your peace.
Do that. And you can get the respect.
Just saying.
But if she's God-fearing, you've got to be able to trust her. And you've got to be able to respect.
You remember I told you?
Ways, James.
I told you, experiences are very costly. They cost more than you ever can imagine. And they take their toll. That's why I said, hey, if you're gonna, and this is not a knock on any of us, because if I could go back and tell my younger father and mother about a thing about life, it's to understand relationships, because everything revolves around it. Because God made us relational beings, right?
Right.
If we got taught practical understanding about relationships, we would not be as damaged as we are. We would not be as damaged. And people would not fear as much as they do about race, color, creed, religion, and all that, because we're getting an understanding about relationships and about personalities and about synergies of dealing with different types of people in different in genres and realms. Like Courtney does, you and Courtney are isolated, but yet y'all socialize, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in your realm, in your genre, it's important to know about relationships. How do you know that? You and Courtney know about people's relationships based off their work.
Okay.
Based off of, check it out. Based off the work that the people that y'all work with, by their work, you can tell something about their relationships. You and Courtney both. Y'all can tell about people's relationships by how they work, because y'all isolated, and you can tell the more that you work with them about their relationship and their personality.
Okay. Mic drop. Mic drop.
I'm just saying.
Mic drop.
Next week, let's bring it back next week.
All right.
We will. Yep. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for the show. Thank you so much for joining the show. If you have any questions, please put it in our box, and we'll respond back, because I called this from the very beginning, ladies and gentlemen. I called it that this cannot be a one-topic show. This topic is going to extend to a sequel. So, ladies and gentlemen, we got a sequel for you next week. Part 2 of this conversation. What does a man want from a woman? I repeat, what does a man want from a woman?
Courtney said he wanted all.
Don't go there.
I want it all.
Yup. James, close us out.
Hey, isn't that what they say when you're in those Pentecostal church? I want it all.
I want it all.
I want it all, God. I want the cup overflowing.
Or what the kids say. I'm going for broke.
You can't handle the truth.
I'm going for broke.
That's it. You can't handle the truth.
I can't handle the truth.
I want my cup overflowing. I want to rock it till the wheels fall off. All right. Dear Father, we thank you for this time of fellowship. We thank you for our wonderful hosts and our producer, Courtney Clarke, Clarke TV. We thank you for all that you've done for us. We thank you for those who are online. Even though we had a lot of humor, we bring a lot of truth, and let those who hear it run with it and use it wisely. Guide us and strengthen us until we come back together again. We thank you, we bless you, and we praise you. Amen.
Amen. We might have a guest next week. I might talk to my fiance and see if we can bring her on board. Yeah, okay, hey, babe, you have another shot at this. You still want a piece of this or what?
You sure you want to do that?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I'm gonna ask her.
You want that mic drop? You want, because see, when she go back and look at the show, right? She be like,
No, this is what she lives on. This is what she lives for. Oh yeah. This is what she lives for. She's gonna do a mic drop.
Oh my goodness.
Let's do it.
All right.
Courtney, see if you can come up with a soundbite next week for mic drop. The special effects. Whenever we have a mic drop moment.
I can get a mic drop effect. I can get a mic drop effect.
Yeah, a mic drop effect. Bam. Yup. Let's get creative. Gentlemen, thank you. This is exciting. I'm so looking forward to next week. I'm looking forward to it.
Look, you're going to take them nuggets and run with it?
Oh, amen. You bet I will. Yup. Oh, my goodness. Thanks, Courtney. Great work. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you. Next, see y'all.